The Summit of the Americas. I'm joined by Natalie Alhonte. She's an associate director of the Adrienne Arsht Latin America Center at the Atlantic Council right here in Washington, D.C. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you so much.
What is your reaction, first of all, to this historic moment in Panama?
Well, if you remember 4 years ago at the Summit of the Americas in Cartagena that was hosted, it was a completely different participation by the U.S. government. It was a moment that I think that President Obama really felt how isolated the United States has become from our region due to this longstanding 50-plus year Cuba policy. But today, his participation is being embraced by the leaders of the region, and I think rightfully so. And he's seeing how this one, elephant in the room has been so destructive to the other many issues that require cooperation, multilateral cooperation across the region to actually be tackled.
In the U.S., there is still strong opposition to what the president is trying to do, mainly because of the human rights violations going on in Cuba. How is the U.S. seen by other Latin American countries at this summit when it is imposing sanctions on Venezuela for human rights violations, but lifting them or trying to lift them against Cuba?
Yeah, and I think that's a great question, because when we're looking at the region, I think that the question that President Obama asked himself, and what the people close to him asked themselves, is it better for us to engage or not engage with Cuba? Does that impact? Can we help the Cuban people by being at the table with more effective participation, or does it help us to completely disconnect and to disengage? And for more than 50 years, we haven't been able to impact, affect change, be the exporters of democracy, of the ideals of liberty and freedom that the United States, that was our history, and that's the message that we want to be able to put forth in the region. We haven't been able to do that. But now that we are engaging, I feel that there is more of a chance for us to actually be more pragmatic in the way that we help the region put forward their own agenda to improve the people's lives, and it's needed.
When we talk about their agenda and improving their lives, is this a one-sided deal, which many view it as?
Yeah, I don't believe it is. I think there's economic opportunity to be had in the long run. We just saw Airbnb announce that they are now open and ready for business in Cuba, and the travel, the tourism piece is another big piece of it. I mean, we're talking about a country that's 90 miles away from our shore, and the amount of, business opportunities for potential tourism and also for more of that educational and international exchange, I think that's going to not only financially but culturally really enrich the lives of American people.
Many of the other countries at this summit really want to see Cuba and the U.S. propped up, and some of them are holding back on what is going on between the U.S. and Venezuela. Are they doing Venezuela a disservice?
I don't think so. I mean, there's a time and a place for everything. I think that the Summit of the Americas is not the only forum in which the region can come together for a constructive dialogue. There was a letter that was signed by many presidents that was released this week, saying that they're vocally opposing the opposition leaders that are being held in prison right now. But this is really the moment to talk about Cuba, because it's the first time Cuba's been allowed to participate in the way that's participating. And this took a lot of work on the United States' behalf. I think this is the stage to talk about Cuba, and there will be a lot of opportunity to talk about Venezuela in the future. But this one big impediment is now out of the way, and now much more can be done as constructive partners with the region.
All righty, Natalie Alhonte with the Adrienne Arsht Latin American Center at the Atlantic Council. Thank you. Always great to see you here. We appreciate it.